Hello, everybody, and welcome to Swampy Comics. We're going to be putting this week's polls into a tier list the week of July 9th, 2025, and today is July 11th, so happy Superman Day! The new Superman movie came out in theaters today. I will be seeing it this weekend, and perhaps I'll make a video about my thoughts on the film after I do see it. But until then, let's just get to this week's polls. As you can see, I have a tier list that's special to me. It's one of my favorite comic book characters, and not only that, but today is the film debut of my second favorite Green Lantern. I mean, Hal. Come on, if you're wondering who first is, but Guy Gardner. So we got the Guy Gardner tier list right here. Um, so we have Guy Happy here up at the top. He's on vacation, enjoying a drink with some beautiful android ladies, and that's definitely the S tier. That's the S tier right there. Then we got Guy chilling on Oa, happy as a clam. That's our A tier. Then we got Guy with the baseball bat. Looks like he's about ready to fight. So B for baseball bat. Then we got Serious Guy. This is when we're getting to the mid C tier. D is represented by 90s Guy Gardner. So you see I'm celebrating right here by having this on display, my Guy Gardner #1, which, well, let's see if we can get it right in there. Oh yeah, look how much I paid for that. One whole dollar. Best dollar I ever spent. But yeah, 90s Guy Gardner's pissed that he's not a Green Lantern anymore, even though he pretends that he's happy with it. In my opinion, it's my headcanon. And then for F tier, we got pissed off, raging Red Lantern Guy Gardner. Luckily, I will spoil it ahead of time. Nothing hit F tier this week, so Raging Guy Gardner can chill for now. But let's get right into rating these. First up, we have Absolute Superman #9 by writer Jason Aaron, artists Rafa Sandoval and Fico Ossio, with colorist Ulises Arreola, and letters by Becca Carey. This week's Absolute Superman did not disappoint. We are going in really cool directions. I'm really happy to see the appearance of a father box, as they call it. And I really like that, for sure, kind of set in, well, not totally by name, but it's pretty clear the Omega Men have a tie to Darkseid, whether they're controlled directly by him or it's just kind of a religious fanaticism going on, as kind of indicated by the way Primus spoke of the father and the Omega symbol being their whole thing. The fact that they're in possession of a father box, which is what I believe a knockoff of the mother box from New Genesis. Kind of Darkseid made it on Apocalypse rather than it being a thing that was discovered and improved upon, or however the lore goes. I get it mixed up all the time when it comes to the New Genesis and Apocalypse stuff, but this issue did not disappoint. We have Superman not liking who he's hanging out with really at all. He seems to be a little conflicted about the Omega Men's methods, if not their kind of cause in the first place, with taking out Lazarus and all that. And you get a really interesting conversation with him and Jimmy that shows Jimmy's motivations aren't that of fanaticism. He just didn't want his kids to grow up seeing him do nothing in a world that was falling apart. I thought that was really powerful. And I really like the conversation with Lois Lane and Ra's al Ghul. Super compelling. Absolute Lois Lane is a total badass. Such a badass, in fact, that she kidnapped Jimmy at the end of the issue, and that's where we were left. I really enjoyed this issue. So I think we're going to make it pop up right here. We're going to put that right next to Guy Gardner chilling on Oa in the A tier. All right. Next up, we have Action Comics 1088. Or this is by this is by writer Mark Waid, artist Skylar Partridge, colorist Ivan Plascencia, and letters by Steve Wands. Action Comics 1088. What can I say? These last two issues of Action Comics have been fantastic. I really like them digging into the younger era of Clark Kent as Superboy, as we learned the people start to call him all on their own in this issue. I really like seeing the old school Adventure Comics Superboy font popping up in people's word bubbles. And this is just really, I feel like it's going to tie in really neatly to the All In saga as a whole and give us a little more background, those readers like me who aren't as familiar with his younger years and things like the Legion of Superheroes and a lot. I mean, I have a couple issues of Adventure Comics that I found at a garage sale, but that's really it. I'm not really too versed in this stuff, so I'm kind of excited to get a retelling of a lot of these things that I missed over the years being a more recent fan of comics again. And you get to see Superman's, well, let's call him Superboy, Clark's struggles as he's first going out and using his powers, because there's a point where his high school catches on fire and the sprinkler system doesn't work, and he goes and finds the guy who installed the sprinkler system, catches him on a phone call with his wife about it, and he's telling her, don't worry about it, nobody will know that I did a bad job. Well, young Clark shows up, threatens to kick his ass, and flies off, and the guy's really scared. And then young Clark comes back and apologizes and kind of says, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And it's really cool. You're kind of getting the first, what I feel is maybe like the first time Clark really wanted to hurt somebody with his powers and kind of, had to realize, whoa, I got to take it down a notch, which is kind of reflecting what's going on in the mainline Superman stuff with the red kryptonite poisoning that he was just dealing with. So I really like seeing the parallel there. I was really impressed by this issue. They really are pulling no punches with this Summer of Superman thing. Everything Superman related has been fantastic so far. I absolutely loved this issue. There's a funny frame where Clark is getting bullied at school and he knows that he can't stand up to the guy because he hurt him, right? And so as this guy's talking smack to Clark, calling him Four Eyes, pushing him up against the locker, you get a panel of Clark imagining him flying him over a volcano and dropping him in, and that made me chuckle out loud. So for that and other reasons, we're going to pop this little guy up here firmly in the S column this week. That's how I'm feeling about Action Comics 1088. All right, I got stuff all over the screen here. Next up, we're doing Aquaman number 7. It's by writer Jeremy Adams, artist Michael Shelfer, colors by Rex Lokus, and letters by Dave Sharpe. This issue didn't impress me so much. I've really enjoyed this Aquaman run so far, and maybe the next issue will clear up some of the weirdness of this one. I don't want to get too into it, because if you read this story, I don't want to spoil that. I don't know. I just would rather you come to your own conclusions of that, but I really hope it's a fake out, whatever's going on. If it's not a fake out, I'm going to be really bummed and upset, and I will probably stop buying this Aquaman series, but I gotta say, the first 6 issues, totally worth a read. This would maybe go one lower for me, but it's getting a lot of credit for getting me really into Aquaman and really into this first 6 issues. And instead of a C, we're gonna go B to. You know what? No, it's a C issue. I can say out loud I recommend this series, but this is just definitely the weakest issue of the run so far. I'm changing my mind on the fly. It said B here, but I'm putting it in C. That's where it belongs. A decent issue, nothing to write home about, with some big head scratcher moments. Not a lot of action. Yeah. But we'll see where it goes next. Next up, let's jump over to Marvel for a couple of issues. We got Fantastic Four number 1. I really like this. I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm dipping my toes back in. My buddy Machio has got me into a few different books, and a couple I started on my own. With the Fantastic Four movie coming out and this new series starting, I just figured it was a good place to get into another Marvel series, and it's really cool. I really like it. Right off the bat, the Fantastic Four are split up, all separate across time, and, it seems like all is lost. What are they going to do? They're just alone in these ancient eras, with the exception of one. And you'd think there's no way out of this, but they have a plan. they have something called the Forever Stone that they can crawl to and write dates on. So if they're ever split up on time, they can tell each other where they are. And it all works out well and good until the end of the issue, when Sue is basically taken to the heat death of the universe, and the Time Stone or the Forever Stone can't be found. This issue didn't have a lot going for it. I mean, it was a great introduction issue, but not a lot of action, not a lot of development. It's just a setup issue, which isn't bad on its own, but that's why it's just going to kind of be a B tier issue for me this week. I fully expect this series to pick up. I really like the art. I'm not, like I said, I haven't been into Marvel lately, so I really like that Johnny Storm does have a mustache, like I noticed, and yeah, Sue Storm is leading the team. I don't know if that's been a thing or if that's new, but I think it's cool as somebody who has always found Reed Richards to be the least interesting person on the team. So enough about that one. Let's go. Let's go to the complete other end of comics and check out another Fantastic Four #1, The First Steps. This is just a movie promo. It's written by, let's see, there's the credits. Oh, I didn't say credits for Fantastic Four #1. How dare I? The previous issue was by writer Ryan North, pencils by Humberto Ramos, ink by Victor Olazaba, colors by Edgar Delgado, and letters by Travis Lanham. There we go. But this issue is Fantastic Four, The First Steps #1. Seems to be just a one-shot, but, gotta label everything on its own to #1, right? How else are you gonna sell these things? This one's by writer Matt Fraction, artist Mark Buckingham, colors by Alex Sinclair, and letters by Joe Caramanga. This one was fine. It was serviceable. I expected it to be far worse than it was, and it did its job. It made me more excited about the Fantastic Four movie than I have been, and I was fairly excited for it, but seeing a lot more involvement from Mole Man than, I thought. I mean, I know he's kind of like the first villain that the Four ever fought back when they debuted, but yeah, it's really cool to see the movie maybe taking a little more time showing that the Fantastic Four aren't just ass kickers and there to just beat the bad guys and throw them in jail. Like, they want to make the world a better place. And they got that across really good in this issue. Another charm of the issue was there was a lot of fake ads for things like the Fantasticar and Johnny Storm's Flaming Hearts fan club, which is looks like a little 60s Tiger Beat teeny bopper kind of fan club. And yeah, it a charming book and worth picking up if you're a big fan of the Fantastic Four. Nothing amazing, but really nothing bad about it either. So that's why right next to the other Fantastic Four book, I'm going to go to B tiers. Flipping. There we go. All right. Next up, Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over, issue 4. And this is by writer Joanne Starrer, with art by Stephen Byrne and letters by Ariana Maher. This issue, the series has been kind of fun, but it's really been nothing too special. And at this point, I'm wondering where it's going. I'm not displeased with it or anything, but it's nothing I'm recommending necessarily. There's some weird character stuff going on that I guess if you're a huge fan of Fire and Ice and read their Smallville series from a year or two ago, then you probably get a lot more out of this than I am. And beyond just kind of starting to lose me with this Freaky Friday story, you got Etrigan in the book, and I'm sorry, but the writer, Joanne Starr, you're gonna put Etrigan in your story, and then you're just gonna write out his rhyming? How dare you? How dare you? It's the most charming part of that character, and, with all the love in my heart, with how hard you probably work on these stories, how dare you? So, I'm sorry, but a lack of a rhyming Etrigan. This is going to get this one in the C tier. I mean, it's serviceable. There's nothing bad about it, but There's nothing great in it, and Etrigan doesn't rhyme. It's an average comic. It's fine. Nothing bad about it. Nothing great either. All right. Next up, we have Green Lantern Corps number 6. Throughout this series, we've seen our various non-Hal Jordan members of the Green Lantern Corps on different excursions. Oh, I should say non-Hal Jordan and non-Kyle Rayner, because Hal and Kyle are kind of the linchpins of the mainline Green Lantern stories going on right now, or series going on right now. So in this, we have had adventures with Guy training a new Green Lantern, a new recruit, getting stuck with him, and that guy actually turning out to be pretty cool. We've had a Teen Lantern, Kelly and Ellie, I believe it is, John Stewart's construct sister. Some cool adventures with them and Simon Baz. Really compelling first 3-issue arc with the Red Lanterns and a destroyed Thanagar. This issue was fantastic too. This whole series since the Fractured Spectrum special, or maybe even before that, but definitely since the United Planets fell and Tharos was defeated, Jessica Cruz has kind of been made de facto president, administrator of the Green Lantern Corps on Oa, which is pretty cool. But up until this issue, she's just kind of sat around and been stuck in a bureaucratic role. But in this one, her and Joe Mullen, Sojourner, go out to help Mogo because during the, I believe it was the Fractured Spectrum event, or was it Civil Corps? One of those one-shots. It must have been Civil Corps when Sinestro turned Mogo into a rage planet and smashed him through, I believe it was Thanagar. Yeah, what a dick. But poor Mogo's hurting, and they're trying to figure it out, and I've just been loving this series. It is the pinnacle of sci-fi fun. The only thing that's keeping this from an S tier is I'm far too excited to see what happens after this issue, because after this, we're going to get the whole Starbreaker saga, I think it's called. Anyway, a nice crossover event with the Starbreaker Corps versus the Green Lantern Corps, crossing over with main Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps comic. I'm hyped for it. Give me Green Lantern events all the time. This is going to get put in A tier. This is a fantastic read. I'm actually, after we get off here, or after I'm done recording, going to go ahead and read that one again. Because I just love Green Lantern Corps right now. All right, Supergirl by writer Sophie Campbell, artist Sophie Campbell, with colors by Tamara Bonvillain and letters by Becca Carey. Supergirl is turning out to be one of my favorite series of this year. It is fun with capital F-U-N. The art in it is fantastic. The colors in it are fantastic. The writing is top-notch, completely goofy Silver Age, but without sacrificing any of the heart or smarts that modern-day comics have had since the 60s. And, everything's evolved. And it's just amazing that Sophie Campbell has been able to get across this tone in this comic with keeping it compelling, keeping it funny. There are, as you can see on the cover here, Supergirl turns into Satan Girl mode. She comes into contact with some black kryptonite, and there is a funny montage of a black kryptonite, Satan Girl, and Crypto also gets hit by this black kryptonite, and they are just being jerks all over Midvale, and I laughed out loud. I ran out to my girlfriend and was like, "Look at this! Look what evil Crypto's doing!" And I don't want to spoil it for you. It's a blast. This whole series has been a blast. These first 3 issues are just off with so much heart and humor and wit and color, and I'm head over heels for this run right now. I am all in on Sophie Campbell's Supergirl. This is going S tier without a question, like every other issue of it so far. All right. And then I think we just got one more. Let me get my credits list back up here. Then we got the... Oh, I should do one of these. The Superman Treasury 2025 Hero for All #1 by writer Dan Jurgens. Pencils by Dan Jurgens. Art by Bruno Redondo. Inks by Brett Breeding and Kale Felipe. With colors by Adriano Lucas and letters by Dave Sharpe. I just got done reading this about 2 hours ago, and it was a lot of fun. If you're a Superman fan and you're just into the summer of Superman, if you like one-shot stories that are just big and fun and over the top in the best way, I strongly suggest this big, oversized book. You can kind of see it. I'm not gonna. You can kind of see it, the blue right there. And so it's a big old giant thing, and I highly recommend it. It's a nice collector's item. I mean, collector as in you love stuff, not you're speculating that it's going to be worth a bunch of money. But it's great. It was a lot of fun. I've never owned any of these giant books before, and after flipping through this, I'm like, I get the appeal. I really like this. And it's just nice to have around. It was a fun, big story with tons of cameos. A semi-predictable twist, but like in the good way, where you're like, oh, I think I see where this is going. And then when it goes there, you're like, yeah, I'm smart. And it was a lot of fun. Wasn't, if it was in continuity, I might pump it up a little, but it's the summer of Superman. I'm high on soups. We all should be high on soups. I didn't even realize that all 3 of my S tiers were Superman related books. But yeah, there we go. Let's see, this week's pick of the week. Let's see. Pick of the week. Who shall it be? Will it be you? Or will it be me? Pick of the week. Who shall it be? I think I might go with Supergirl 3. Yeah, Supergirl 3 is my pick of the week. I had so much fun reading this book. It was in between that and Action Comics, honestly. Action Comics really did a lot for my heart and soul, but Supergirl just continues to impress me, and it's one of the best looking books on the market right now. So, there we go. There's our Guy Gardner tier list. Yeah. I like it. Well, all right. Thank you for turning to him. We're gonna try that again. Hold on. With the turn and everything, because I'm not editing right now. This is all staying in. Well, that'll be all for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me I'm cool, tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Just don't be too mean. But that's all. Anyway, till next time, folks. Hope to catch you next week. This is Swampy, signing out. Bye.